It's got the red, and that's the voice is the green.
Okay.
So it's recording right now.
Do you have good sound?
Yeah, I got a cable that'll take me to there. So I'll have sound, but then like I said, if every like 10 minutes or so you would just turn it on and off. That way when I try to upload files, YouTube works a lot better when you have a smaller file.
Okay.
So great.
Well, I can grab some more here.
Well, I think we take, yeah. And there's two in the front as well. Great. 3.
It's the weekend between Labor Day.
36, 9, 12, 36, 9, 11. Okay. You gonna yeah.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. I just want to give you a little information about where you are right now. You're currently at the Jean Lafitte National Historical Park and Preserve. We're a national park here in southeast Louisiana, made up of 6 different sites spread across 6 different cities. Mostly historical parks, meaning we operate like museums, although we do have the Barataria Preserve, which is just on the other side of the river, 24,000 acres of wetlands. Our goal here is to share the story of the culture, the history, the natural environment that makes Southeast Louisiana so critical for the American story. So here today at the French Quarter Visitor Center, we'll be hearing from Charles Marsala the Sicilian Migration story. And Charles Marsala is the president of the Italian American Federation of the Southeast States. So he's incredible. Okay. Thank you all for coming.
Assuming this is going to make it. Okay. Well, we're going to be a little bit close, but actually I'm going to move this over to here just to make this work. Okay. Yes, I'll put this in here. Okay, welcome everyone. It's great to be here. I want to thank the Park Service for this because our story right now is getting a lot of attention, and it's great that they reached out and said, let's do something for the Sicilian community. So I really want to thank you guys for what you're doing for us with that. What we've done is explain my position a little bit about 1970s. We created the Italian American Federation of the Southeast, and I actually my grandfather out of Monroe, which is where my family really was started in Louisiana around 1910. They were, obviously everybody came through New Orleans, but they quickly moved up to Monroe. And Gino's restaurants up there, I realize I have cousins that I know, the Briscatta's here. So if you've ever been to Gino's in Monroe, that's my grandfather. And I think I have some cousins from Contessa Antolina, but we have to go back way far to find out what we have. So it's a great situation we have here in New Orleans, and I'm going to go over it.
Thank you.
Yes, I'll go over telling a lot of the different clubs. There's 25 organizations that are part of our federation. There's also other stories that go on that are happening that people aren't part of the federation. So we try to cover everything. I'm going to move quickly. I am going to go afterwards. I'm going to eat at Cafe Maspero. If you want to join me, I made a reservation for 8. You're welcome. And on a side note there, which is not in my slides here, is at Cafe Maspero, the building right next to it, was where probably the first mafia hit happened in America on April 1st, 1869. So I have a lot of anecdotes that we're going to have as we go through the stories, but there was a battle over the docks. As you know, the Italians worked the docks here to get started, and apparently somebody did get shot, and the guy that in front of somebody else's store, and the next week that guy's store had the contract for the docks. So we know that there was some stuff that happened that isn't the best part of Sicilian culture, but I'm going to focus on the best stuff that we have to say here.
Is it working?
Yes, okay. So this is some of the stuff we put together. I left.
It's going in and out.
we're obviously trying to marry Park Service stuff to my stuff. So let's. Okay. So I had the fortune of growing up in New Orleans, but we went back and forth to Monroe up until, I was in the early 80s. There was the Progressive Men's Club in Monroe, and if that was a place where they had barbecues, St. Joseph stuff, everything was going on in Monroe. Great little Italy in Monroe that I was able to appreciate. Next to in Monroe, on Labor Day weekend, and throughout the North, there were 6 clubs that got together: Shreveport, Bunkie, Opelousas, Baton Rouge, and Alexandria, and they would have a convention every year. Now we brought this back with the Italian Federation of Louisiana, the Southeast, and we're going to have a convention in Baton Rouge on July 17th. Baton Rouge has their expo on the 18th. And Lena Prima will perform on the night of the 17th. So if you could you want to put that down. The Marriott's got $100 hotel rooms, and it's a great thing to go to. When I left Louisiana, went out to California, and I was out there for about 30 years, and then I came back about 5 years ago. So put this together, and I was in Silicon Valley. So as president right now, I want to see us get into digital media, and how can we use that to bring all our clubs together and educate people and have our activities stronger. So right now with educational thing, we have a YouTube channel called Awe News. Awe News has 8 half-hour videos right now that are up on the Sicilian Migration. So some of the stuff I'm going to be talking about, you can go to Awe News and click on those playlists. And then some of them are actually just Italian chefs of New Orleans or Italian entertainers, Nick LaRocca, Louis Prima, or the sports figures. And then other ones are the lynching, Mother Cabrini, the 1890s. We have stuff on the Civil War era and what Sicilians were doing. So you can learn a lot about our history by going there. We have an app that's out now. And the app, if you have a card, my business card here has a QR code on the back. And the QR code would allow you on a phone to download the app. And the app is free. It's got 50 places to go in New Orleans in the French Quarter, like I just told you about where that mob hit happened, or where Mother Cabrini was. So it's a great way if you want to just walk on your own and do a self-guided tour. And frequently we have videos embedded. Like there's the sculpture, the Monument to the Immigrant. So you can go there and you can hear what Franco Alessandrini had to say about it. We interviewed him, and that's into the app. And then next, as you can see, we're now publishing a newsletter called SiciliJournal.com. It's on the internet. We do have the print version, which comes out quarterly right there, but we now make a digital thing. So like last weekend, the Gulf Coast Italian community went on the Nina and Pinta. We wrote a story about it. It's up the next day. In Lake Village, Arkansas, they had a pasta fest last Sunday, fed 2,000 people, 4,000 meatballs they made. Okay? And that was like one of the first, that's one of the most documented places of Sicilians on a plantation. 100 Italian families, went to that plantation in Sunnyside. It's called Sunnyside Plantation in Arkansas in 1895. And they have maintained, they got a museum, the culture, and they've actually tracked the descendants of everything. So we know that the plantations here brought a lot of Sicilians in as the years went by. This is the tour app. You can see the spots are numbered. So when you download it, it gives you all these locations. It's got GPS. It'll tell you if you're close to them. Out down here, this here is where the museum is. And the cultural center has been redone. Spent $700,000 redoing it. And the city spent $1 million redoing the piazza the year before. So we have opera in the piazza every June, and it's just a great place to stop.